I was actually traveling home on the day of the storm. My wife and I had been away for some R&R, and we had been to Carolina Beach, and we're on our way back home on that Friday. And we could only make it as far as North Wilkesboro, and the roads were all shut down. Communications had fallen, and they would not allow us back up home to my house. And we managed to arrive back home on Sunday. They had some friends of ours in indirect communications had found a route into Avery County. Driving up the mountain was surreal. Arriving in town was just heartbreaking and just filled with grief. A lot of anxiety over what I was witnessing. Communications were still very, very limited. I had managed to reach my family indirectly, and they were okay. But those were just the feelings. It was just overwhelming. That the church had managed to stand. The only damage that we had was water in our fellowship hall kitchen area, which is on a lower level. But that was minor. The water had dissipated by that point in time. We were still without power or water or any internet or even phone services for approximately, I guess, a little over a week and a half. Initially, started doing some kind of connections as best we could when we were able to get back phone services, communicating one-on-one, checking on each congregant to see how they were doing. We did have a couple of congregants whose homes were flooded. One individual had 9 feet of water in his house, losing his clothes, everything. It was just devastating. He also had a bridge that was 20, I think he said it was 24 feet in height above the water plane, and it was destroyed. Unbelievable. Praise the Lord that no one died directly from our congregation as a result of the floods. We did have 5 fatalities within this community of the church. Yes. Initially, felt like the role of the church here was to be a place for folks to process what they had experienced the first few Sundays after the storm. The first 3 or 4 weeks, we just used our time in gathering together as a time to process, focus on what we did have, on the hope that we have, to offer support with one another physically, emotionally, spending deep times in prayer and lament. From that point on, we wanted to be a place of refuge for the community, and provide resourcing for folks who had lost a lot of things from their homes. And we began feeding our community hot meals because there were no restaurants, no places for people to go. The grocery stores within immediate area were unavailable. They had been destroyed and are still closed even to this point. 5.5 weeks later, it doesn't look like they'll open until near the end of the year. To see the outpouring of the faith community's support has really strengthened my faith. There were times early on that it was my anxiety really affected me, and I shared that with my congregation, and they gathered around me one Sunday just to hold me in their prayers and to lift me up through that. So many thoughts of gratitude and thanks, just an amazement to see how the community has rallied around one another, how neighbors have reached out to neighbors in the midst of hurt and loss. They continued to reach out. It has been astounding to see the influx of folks from all across the United States who have come here. People from as far away as Joplin, Missouri, pulled into our driveway or parking lot here at the church, offering help, bringing supplies and assistance to just the folks who are a part of the United Methodist Church connection. Filling in, bringing in food on a regular basis to help us meet the needs of our neighbors and our community. It's just encouraging and hopeful to see that happen. I will share something. When we arrived on our first Sunday after the storm to meet, wasn't the Sunday immediately following the storm, it was the following week. We still had no power, but at our front door was a note, a card, and I opened up the card and it said, "Thank you to the church for the opportunity to shelter in the church during this horrific storm. May God bless each of you." That's from the McClellan family.